Welcome to Dare, the show for startup leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs who dare to shape the future. Dare is brought to you by the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, OEN, and Darwaft, the superpower tech team that can make your vision a reality. The Dare podcast is excited to welcome Anya Cheng to the show today. She's based in Silicon Valley. She has great expertise in tech product management and marketing. She's the founder and CEO of Taelor, which is an AI-powered menswear rental subscription service. We're going to hear more about that today. I won't go into it right now, but she brings to this company, Taelor, really great background at Facebook, Instagram shopping, at Meta, as head of product at eBay, and as a senior director in retail food as well at McDonald's and at previous roles as well. So she brings a great spectrum of expertise to the show. I think you'll be really interested to hear about her entrepreneurial journey. So welcome to the show, Anya.
Hello, this is Anya from the Bay Area. And before starting a company, I help you like Facebook shopping and or eBay's emerging market in Latin America, including Argentina, where Nate had experience on, and also had helped to build McDonald's food delivery business when Uber Eats just started. I also teach marketing at Northwestern University and product management there. So I'm excited to share more about my journey about my startup of the AI company today.
Fantastic. Well, I know AI is a big deal right now. Everybody's trying to get into AI. But what you've done is you've combined AI with actual physical goods, which we like to do in Oregon. We have companies here that actually produce like clothing and shoes that you can wear, but you're also combining that with AI. So tell us what Taylor is doing that's unique there.
Yeah, if you hate shopping and hate laundry, then Tailor's for you. Tailor's a good solution for effortless style, and we help people to save time, save the environment, but also be confident. So for a flat monthly fee, our AI will style you, and we send you real clothes for you to wear for a couple weeks. And once you are done, you can buy some of the clothes with discount, or you return the rest and you get next shipments right away. No more shopping or laundry. While we get the clothes here in the Bay Area, we wash them right away and send to other customers. So circular fashion. And then any feedback which customer usually do provide because they want to make sure next shipment is better, we send back to those brands. So then ask them to stop producing junk. Make sure you are producing something people wanted because today fashion polluted is one of the most serious problem in the world. 30% of clothes go directly from factory to landfill. 10% of the carbon emission in the world are from fast fashion alone. So by doing so, not just you support like secondhand and sustainability, but
Mhm.
also you can try the clothes for a couple of weeks without buying anything.
Right. What's great about this is I don't have to take care of the clothes. Like I can just return them. I don't have to worry about dry cleaning. I don't have to worry about, pressing my suit, all that kind of stuff. If I need a tux for a special event, I can just get one. And
Yeah,
I'm
but it
not
doesn't
getting,
have to
yeah.
be tucked. Like we actually don't have tucks and we also don't have yoga clothes, but we have
Oh,
everything
really?
in between. So
Yeah.
almost like more of the everyday stuff you need for day night, stuff you need for farmers market. We have shorts and t-shirts, sweaters and blazers and pants, jeans. Pretty much people need it most of like 364 days of a year and we have those
Yeah.
things. And you're right, you don't need to bring the dirty clothes home. So when you travel, so a lot of people use that too. Like you bring the clothes or ship the clothes to the hotel, you wear there for 2 weeks in organs, and then
Mhm.
now you can put into return envelope and go home without dirty clothes. And when you get home, the new shipment is already there.
That's fantastic. So, like, I travel quite a bit for work. So, if I'm going to Chicago or New York or whatever, I could have clothes meet me there, wear those clothes, and then send them back. And I don't need to worry about all of the hassle of packing my clothes, worrying about them. I can just stick them back in the envelope for you.
That's right. It's like you take something from dry clean. It's just different is that every time when you pick up the dry clean thing, it's actually different new clothes. And it's already styled based on your occasion or schedule for the upcoming weeks. And based on professional stylists, our AI pick the clothes, and we have human professional stylists who will make final check, make sure it's perfect for you. So then you almost like have a concierge service or executive assistant. Most of our customers, they are not just about renting clothes. They are also about, hey, can I have a system to help me figure out getting ready for the week? They even ask us where to get their haircuts and where to buy shoes. which we are expanding into this year for additional items. And
Fantastic.
or Valentine's Day gift. They ask like, what should I buy for Valentine's Day gift? Now my clothes is ready. Where's my gift? So
Got it. Well, how long has Taylor been around for then? If you're expanding, you must have some success.
yeah, we have just been 2.5 years in the market, and we are backed by the early investor of Lyft, Instacart, Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, Hello Kitties, and we are very
Mhm.
lucky to have amazing investors behind. And I also brought a lot of experience from my time at Meta, eBay, and Sears, Kmart, Target of retail experience to the area. And we are very lucky because before it's really hard to serve this group of lazy or busy men because they need service. And without Gen AI, you will be needing 10 hours a day or for the
Yeah.
personal stylist to go bring you to department store. And then you have to spend $3,000 to buy those clothes. And Gen AI and circular fashion sharing economy make this all possible.
So tell me more about what AI has to do with it. Like you just mentioned Gen AI, you just kind of threw it in there. But tell me more in detail about how AI is making your experience different.
Yeah, so you think of the old time, the personal stylist, they will ask you lots of questions. You might have to fill out a survey and say, okay, this is my height and weight, which is we do ask, but this is the least useful information for us because most of the guy, they thinks they are taller and thinner. So
Right, right. I'm 6'2" and I weigh 120. No, no, no.
so
Totally wrong.
yeah, so
But
we asked them question like, "Hey, tell me the clothes that you like to wear most. Go back
yeah,
to your closet, pull it out. Tell me which brand. What's a t-shirt? Oh, Banana Republic t-shirt, size medium. Wait, I thought I always a small. Why am I medium now? Why am I extra large now?
so the truth comes out in the clothes you
Yeah,
actually wear. So
yeah.
so the model that you mentioned was pioneered by Stitch Fix and other companies like that who would create like regular clothing that you could order. And you have a different focus though. You're focused very specifically on menswear, right?
But most very differently is rental. So in the old time of like Stitch Fix, it was very popular 20 years, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
And the problem of those is that it's not really for lazy people because you think about that. Once they pick something for you, you have to
yeah.
decide if you want to buy right away. It's
Right.
just
And you're actually
selling with e-commerce. But if you
Mhm.
all have to decide, you have to think about, oh, am I going to wear this for a couple times? How many times? Is there a cheaper price somewhere? And then
Is
of
it
course
worth it?
yeah,
Yeah.
and of course if you buy, there's a lot more money to buy multiple clothes, new clothes, right? So in our model, you don't have to decide. You get the clothes like you watch your Netflix show. It's not like you have to buy a DVD. Oh, I have will watch this Home Alone for 5 times, so I'm going to buy it. You watch it for 3 minutes. Who cares? If it doesn't like it, next show. The same thing. You wear the clothes for a week. I don't like it. I realized I never tried green and I try and I did. I know that I actually don't like it. Now you return, or you might be surprised. Oh, I never
Yeah.
like green. Wow, I actually look great in dark green. This is amazing. So you
Mhm.
might find out something that you never know you before, which we find it all the time.
Right. So for those listening on audio only, I will point out that Anya is wearing green right now. So it fits the moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
many our customer they will when we ask them what did you wear before, they will say,
mhm.
"Oh, last 10 years I've been wearing the same thing again and again, and I only know five brand: Nike, Uniqlo, Banana Republics, or some of the
Yeah.
amazing organ brands there." So, but they never try something new because when you have to buy something and you don't have a professional stylist, you just kind of go back to what you had before, and that's actually the problem for company like Stitch Fix. How they make money? They make money by recommending someone and then the person buy something, right?
Yeah.
But if you are Stitch Fix, what would you recommend the person? Something they're most likely to buy, which is something very similar to what you purchased before. But then for
Right. Right.
consumer side, if I'm just going to wear the same thing as what I purchased before, then why do I need a personal stylist? Right. So
Right.
there's a conflict kind of interest there. And as a result, most of people using those type of services more of like one time every 6 months or
Mhm.
wardrobe refresh, so they don't mind to wear similar thing again. But in our model, you can try something new. You don't have to buy. You don't have to think, and because when you buy, it's also a lot cheaper than retail.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So the company Taylor has been around, you said, for about 2.5 years. So if I could take you back in time, kind of like the ghost of Christmas past, right? When did this idea first come to you, and what were the first steps in forming your company? I'm asking this because a lot of people who listen to this podcast are startup entrepreneurs who are thinking about launching their companies. So, if they were following your model, what did you do first, and what kind of got you off the ground?
Yeah, a lot of people ask like, why two women for menswear? Oh, I know. I was trying to build my own closet.
Uh huh.
It was actually I was an immigrant leading large team at Meta. I feel a
Hmm.
little bit imposter syndrome. I am a minorities there, so I want to look great. So I tried some subscription boxes, and in the example of Stitch Fix, they made you buy clothes. I don't want to own that much stuff, so I try company like Rent the Runway or Newly by Urban Outfitter. They are rental company like Urban Outfitter Newly is a profitable unicorn in just 4 years.
Hmm.
However, those require you to spend hours browsing through thousands of garments. There was a
Hmm.
moment I realized, oh, this fashion company, they are all for fashion lovers. They are not for lazy people like me. And so for Hey Shopping, Hey Laundry, pretty lazy, but they are socially active. They have to look good. They don't read GQ. Turn out that they are mostly busy men, sales guy, single guy, professor, pastor, recruiter, influencer. They just meet people for work for day night. They need to look good, but they don't want to think about it. And that's why we create Taylor.
And so, when you first had this idea and you started launching it, did you raise funds first? Did you build a proof of concept? Did you hire a team? What were kind of your first, like, initial tactical steps?
Yeah, we start by just having a few free interns and we create a Shopify page of a landing page. We don't have anything, we don't have any clothes. We have a wait list that you can send an email to us. So it was before Thanksgiving, and someone emailed me say, "Hey, I'm on your wait list. Please bump me up." In fact, the person thought that we have what too popular, and so we cannot take him in as our new customer. The real truth is we don't have anything. We don't have clothes. We don't have anything. So I
Yeah.
thought it must be a scam. Who will want something so badly and email me? So I ignored the email. A month went by. Right before Christmas, the guy called me. I said, "I'm Michael. I live in San Diego." I thought for sure this is definitely a scam. Like, who will
Yeah.
call you,
It's
like,
like, who's
asking for
calling you?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
nowadays. And turn out that Michael actually add me on LinkedIn, and I because I teach and I speak in a lot of conference, so I tend to just accept people unless I really see it's really weird. So then he saw my phone numbers there, and then so he called me. So after the phone call, I went to check. Wow, indeed, we do have a Michael in San Diego on our wait list. So we went to department store. We bought a whole bunch of clothes. We put into the mailbox, the USPS boxes. There's no fancy boxes, just mailbox, and we ship it to him. And he became our first customers. And from there, we start learning and testing stuff people like Michael, and we test 100 people. We know what they are looking for. We build a business plan. We know what we need to spend
Hmm.
money on, and then we start doing fundraising. And when I was doing fundraising, we reach out to some University of Chicago professor and classmates because we are two classmates actually start a company together. And so we got some of the investor from the class. And one day our professor say, "Oh, let me introduce you to my another student. He's also a
Hmm.
startup founder." I was intent to ask him for his investor, but in the conversation with him, I forgot. I was just genuinely curious about his business and want to help him. So after
Oh,
that
that's
connect,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he own an AI company. They do like security camera and detect, and they sell to police department.
Uh
So
huh.
after that, I connect a whole bunch of police department friends to him. So he called me like, "Anya, hey, thank you so much for those referrals. And by the way, why did you set up a meeting at the beginning?" I said, "Oh, I forgot. I want to ask for the investor." And then I said, "Okay,
Right.
okay, let me connect you to my investor." And in half an hour, we got $1 million. And that's how it
Wow.
goes around.
But that genuine curiosity and that genuine interest probably communicated a lot about you.
I think that sometimes, like one thing I learned most at being a founder is giver's game.
Hmm.
In big company, people you have a lot of resources. People can tend to go to you and ask for a job, asking for a business opportunity. They want to do business with Meta and becoming founder. you no longer have those luxury fancy business car, right? So people may not always want to talk to you. When I go to Chamber
Right.
of Commerce, people are like, oh, startup founder. Okay, next. Then turn around and talk to other people who are more successful. So
Right.
I start learning that the best way to building a connection is definitely give a scam. You just ask for how you can help. And then in hope one day that they do, you also keep them informed on what you need. And when they think about opportunity, they connect you. And in this case, I totally forgot. I was just trying to help and turn out that I got opportunity.
Well, that's great advice for all of you startup leaders out there. Just try to help. Find a place to add value, and that value may come back to you. I mean, in karmic return, but also because you're genuine. Rather than just standing there with your hand out asking for money, see how you can help, whether that's helping the community or helping the ecosystem or just helping another founder.
Yeah, for sure. I think so in many times and people I would say people ask me the student I teach as well, the student ask me about like job searching. I think it's the same concept. Think of you have a saving account and every time you help someone, you are putting into a saving account. And you just have to remember the password. And what's a password? The password is just keep in touch and keep inform others what you need because they may not know how to help you. And another tip that I found was I do involve in some organization like BNI or some chamber of
Mhm.
commerce. And what we found was many times that your connectors are not the person who you can sell to right away. Like I may not be talking to an investor, but I might find another person who also have a network of investor. And doesn't mean
Right.
they are their investor. Could be this friend is a tailor, like not our tailor, the real tailor. They do custom
Yeah.
suits. So her clients will be our great investor because they are people who are have money and high net worth individual. Or another person they do certain type of insurance. So and they do target people who are high net worth individual. So then while we are targeting different service, we are not competing, but then we kind of have the same target. And so then we help each other become great referral to each other.
Right, right. So it's helping other people who are maybe adjacent to you, but every connection matters. And you never
Yeah,
know who might be of assistance to you. I know one of my co-founders at a past company, I just engaged with at a networking event, and we were just talking about some of the problems that we saw in the market. And we converged on like, somebody should build this thing. And it turned out we both had the same vision.
that's
So
great. That's
yeah,
great.
you never know. So tell me more about your co-founders or your team. Are you the singular founder? Do you have co-founders?
Yeah, yeah. So I have a co-founder, Phoebe. We are Chicago Boots MBA classmates, and we
Mhm.
met more than 10 years ago, and we were only two minority women in the class, so we became
Wow, that's
friends.
intense.
Yeah, and then but after 10 years, I when I have this startup idea, I realized that I never done a startup before. I always build 0 to 1 for big company, but never
Uh-huh.
really be the startup founder. So we realized running this type of startup, it does need support, and the support like your previous question could mean partner with others like we do, for example, partner with company Armor in Seattle. They Armor, they provide women's rental company, so then we're not really competing, but then they can refer customer to us, we can refer customer to them. And the same time, the same thing for founding team. Phoebe's background is a pre-IPO company for they offer food for Starbucks and airlines.
Yeah,
So she's really good in operation, which in our business, laundry is operations. And
really important.
yeah, and she was a CFO and auditor before. She's really good in finance. In startup, it's all about money. So I run tech because that's what we know. I know, and then I run marketing, and we hire people from Meta, eBay, Target, who my old colleague before, and then
Right.
runs our operation and finance.
Sounds like you have a great founding partner there. So how important is that early kind of partnership to success in a startup?
I think it's important. I always tell people like when you are building a team, if you look at NBA, the all-star team, they actually don't perform very well. They all like superstar, but they are actually not as good as championship team, right? So because in championship teams, some people assist, some people score. So you actually are finding people have different skill set and put that together. And we also found that the way that of course, like how we work together is important. And I found that on the one hand, we do have an MBA background together. So then we know kind of can ask each other hard questions. I may not know operation enough, but I'm capable enough to ask the right questions and vice
Yeah.
versa. And on the other hand, we also found that At the beginning, we argue a lot and we realize, oh, the way that we think is very different because I work for big company like Meta, eBay before, and she worked for private company. So the way of how we operate is very different. For example, at the beginning, every time when we have questions and information we don't know, I will
Hmm.
pull her into different meeting with friends I know. It's like, oh, that's an expert. Nate know entrepreneurship very well. Let's talk to Nate. And she found
Yeah,
it very waste of time. She's like, hey, you can just Google and read a whole bunch of article in half an hour. Why you going to those meeting? She feels it's a waste of time. I feel like these are first-hand information, like super important and useful. What I realized later on was the way that we consume information is different. She liked to read and research. I like to talk to people. So what I
yeah.
decided to do was that I talk to people, I write it down, and then she will consume information. On the other hand, she will read a whole bunch of online articles and then she summarized in talking to me in a meeting. Then we find a great way to use each other's strengths and but we can still communicate well.
That's fantastic. So you have different learning styles, different ways of being in the world, and yet you can complement each other and you can bring them together in really positive ways. That's really great to be able to recognize each other's strengths. So, a couple quick questions for you. We're kind of almost coming to the end of our time together, but I had a question for you because you came from large companies like eBay and Meta, and you've now been very successful with a small company and grown that company. Do those skills from a big company translate? I'm asking because I used to work at Microsoft and Intel, and I found it to be a real learning process to jump into the startup world. So, how about you?
I think people always ask me, should you work for big company before you become startup founder? It sounds logical, which
Yeah.
I personally think that's a great idea because research say people who start a company at around age 40, they tend to be more successful, which is keep me up, keep me encouraged every single day. However,
Yes.
I think that it's just not true. I think every entrepreneur has their own way. You see Mark Zuckerberg super successful at age 20 something, right? So just a point and come, right? And it's different way. Like there's yes, we all want to be successful, IPO as it we're just a profitable company, but just there's no one way to get there. Some people are
Right.
really good in fundraising, so they raise a lot of money. Some people in really good in doing small business but profitable right away. Some people have very strong network. They are wealthy people. Some people very young. They can work all the time and never stop. And they have another group of people who can work for free for them as well, right? So I think it's just the green is always the grass is always greener on the other side. And so when
Hmm.
I ask my friends, I'm originally from Taiwan, so I have some friends back there. They always say, "Oh, you guys are lucky in Silicon Valley. There's a lot more resources out there, etc." While the founder here always say, "Oh, you guys are lucky in offshore. The
Right. The
human
grass is
resource, yeah,
always greener
it's a
elsewhere.
lot cheaper over there. A lot of government subsidized, which you never get here." So I just say that you embrace the moments and like think about what you are good at.
Right.
So
Embrace where you're at and use the resources you have. Don't be longing
yeah.
to be someplace else because there is no magic place. I mean, successful companies have been started in nearly every country, and successful companies have gone worldwide from many geographies. So, yeah, so I love that advice. Like, embrace where you're
But Oregon is the best. So definitely.
at. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. Well, I do have one last question for you, which is what do you dare to dream? This is kind of our last question to wrap up because it's a question about the future. What future do you imagine that you're creating?
Yeah, I think so. We are creating a world where every guy, when they are not sure, they are not ready for the days, and when they know what to buy, they go on Amazon. When they're not sure what to buy, they go on Taylor. And then also every fashion company, they stop producing junk because they have wealthy data. And then whenever produce something, there's always overproductions, and those inventory can be used until end of life cycle of the garments. And I think so. I will end with a story. When I graduated from Northwestern University with a master
Mhm.
degree, it was 2008 when Lehman Brothers went bankruptcy. There was no job anywhere. My English was so bad, so I volunteered at Senior Care Center to practice English
Yeah, well, that's a
and
great place to learn English, right?
yeah, and then I knock on every school professor's door because I wasn't able to get any real interview. And then I one day a professor said, "I don't know you, but you can come to a speech event." So I
Ah,
went. I met someone who came from a farmer magazine. So I went on the interview. I found it fascinating. This is definitely my job. But then a
Mhm.
few weeks went by, I follow up with a recruiter. The recruiter say, I'm laid off. Please stop calling me. So even the
Mhm.
recruiter was laid off. So, but she told me that, hey, there's bigger city like New York and LA. So I went on those city for 2 months. I decided to buy newspaper from the newsstand. And because I was interested in working
Mhm.
for a media company at the time, so I start cold calling each of those CEO. You say publisher name here, phone number here. So I cold calling each of them, and I eventually met with New York Times CEO, and then the CNN VP. But then none of them have any jobs. So I went back to Chicago after 2 months, and I reached out to the Farmer magazine. I learned a lot during those 2 months.
Mhm.
And then so I say, hey, would you be interested in knowing about what those big company doing? I interviewed their reader who are farmers, and I went on the interview. I put together a business plan. I say, if you want to do these things, you need someone who have good marketing background, or ideally just out of school. And I happen to know someone. So she
That's
asked me,
great.
she asked me if you want to be a contractor. My English was so bad, I didn't know what contractor means.
Yeah.
I say yes. I went home Google, and I didn't know why she want me to be a plumber. But so I got my job, and so I dared to dream
Uh,
at that time that I will get a job at a media company and running marketing, and eventually I got it. And I don't think in most of the things I do during the job search was wrong, I think, but by using my strengths, I think it keep me keep going. And the strengths at that time, I was a reporter before, so waiting for people outside or interviewing people were my strengths. So I would
yeah.
say keep using your strengths and you won't be afraid. So then you can keep going and eventually you will find a light in the tunnel.
Wow, that is very inspirational. Thank you so much. I think that's a great way to wrap up today's show. Just as a reminder, the Dare podcast this season is brought to you by the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network. And we will also put in the show notes some links to Taelor so you can get your own orders of menswear for rent from Taelor and explore all of their offerings. So, really appreciate your time, Anya. Thank you.
Yeah, use Dare 30 to get 30% off first months of Tailor.style or 30 gift pan for 10% off gift card. Start getting look great in 2025. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Anya. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks to our guests today for their insights into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We wish you all the best in your startup journey. The Dare Show is brought to you by the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network and by Darwaf, the superpower tech team that can make your vision a reality. Visit us at oen.org or at darwaf.io. Thanks again for listening. Till next time.